Okay, fair enough. Anyway, let's get to skincare. Skincare, here's a plot summary. Famed aesthetician Hope Goldman, played by Elizabeth Banks. She's launching her very own skincare line. This movie, by the way, is inspired by a true story, with obviously a ton of fictional license, but it's set in 2013 Hollywood. And Hope Goldman, played by Elizabeth Banks, is an esthetician, going to do her own skincare line. Everything seems to be going great. She has good customers. The only problem is she works in Hollywood at this outdoor mall called Crossroads of the World. And it's really nice. And it's actually a real mall in Hollywood in off of Sunset Boulevard. She's working there, but lo and behold, one day, one early morning, she sees across her way is another office that's being opened up by rival facialist Angel Vergara, played by Luis Gerardo Méndez. And Angel might be a threat to her skincare business. And Hope is wondering, maybe Angel is not going to, maybe Angel's really going to take away her customers. Things get really worse when Hope, suppose someone actually hacks into Hope's email and Hope sends, actually the hacker sends an email to all her clients saying that she is very, how would you say this? She's very sexually excited and she is in need of a man's organ, like, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's very, very vulgar. And initially it causes her to lose a bunch of clients and business. And Hope is obviously livid. She is immediately blaming Angel for being one of the hacker, or maybe he hired someone to hack her email. She is thinking that Angel is the reason why her business is going down. She enlists the help of a new friend named Jordan. He's played by Lewis Pullman. Lewis Pullman is the son of actor Bill Pullman, by the way. Anyways, Lewis Pullman plays Jordan, and Jordan helps Hope Goldman try to get her business back on track. And Jordan's interesting because he's a 26-year-old life coach slash karate instructor, and it's really crazy. And they team up to figure out what Angel is actually doing. There's also Nathan Fillion. He stars as an anchorman with ulterior motives. There's a local mechanic played by Eric Palladino. I'm mentioning all these men in Hope's life because Skincare, at once, it's a psychosexual thriller, film noir thriller, but it's also a movie about how these men either try to gaslight Hope or try to take advantage of her, all within the milieu of the thriller genre. Skincare, Eric Holmes, your review.
That description seems a bit, well, I don't know. You know what? I'll just leave that.
Right.
I almost
No,
said some.
say it, say
No,
it.
that's spoiler stuff. I can't.
Okay.
But there's some stuff in the description that's kind of, well, we'll say it's not as it seems. We'll put it that way. Yeah, watching Elizabeth Banks and Luce when Angel opens up the skincare place right across from her. They're obviously competitors. But we have competitor podcasts, but we're friends with them. So the rising tide raises all ships sort of thing.
Mhm.
And Hope didn't go for that. Automatically went for the let's be underhanded about this and try to get Angel out of there. This is weird because your description of it is not the same movie that I saw.
That's, I mean, but my
And
description of it,
I,
my description of it is actual surface level plot summary. That's what people are introduced to.
I,
So,
I,
and
I
you're right. To go beyond that is to spoil the
understand
actual
that.
movie. Yeah.
But to explain some of the interesting stuff goes against what the description is
Like,
because there's stuff you learn along the way. You know what? I'll just say that this is a good what do they call that? Warning or whatever of maybe don't go on the offensive so much. Accept things and try to work around stuff instead of just going head on and attacking when you don't really need to, because sometimes the sword can be pointed right back at you and you end up cutting yourself.
did this movie work for you, Skincare?
It did. I wouldn't call this a banger, but I really liked it. I liked where it went. I make it seem like there's like a huge twist, and there's not, but it's not. It kind of, as the movie goes on, it slowly develops into the other thing. This would be a great one to do a spoiler review on because I can't really talk much about it. But it's yeah, you're basically just watching Hope's downfall. Hope kind of giving herself enough rope to hang herself with, all those other cliches. And yeah, I don't know what else to say without giving stuff away. But it's a good movie, and I would definitely recommend it.
This movie's, yeah, again, like I said, 2000, it's set in 2013, and the director, I believe I didn't put it on our Google Notes. I believe the director's name is Austin Peters. And
Believe
Peters,
you.
yeah, Austin Peters, I believe. So Peters wants to create a film noir thriller sunshine noir thriller with this other thematic about the men in her life for skincare. And there's a lot of balls at play in this movie. And the first 15 minutes where we're actually in the world of Hope Goldman, and she starts off in a newscast with the anchorman played by Nathan Fillion, and then we are introduced to her and her store and her assistant slash PR person who works for her. And we're getting introduced to Hope Goldman's world in Hollywood. It does a really good job of that. Does a great job of giving us that little section of Hollywood or Holly Weird back in 2013. And Austin Peter does a great job. The DP work is awesome. As a huge De Palma fan, there's a lot of great nods to just the visual language of this movie. It looks really good for an indie film. Loved it in many ways on that visual sense. But the problem is, although Elizabeth Banks is good in the lead, and I like Lewis Pullman as well, it just didn't click for me. There were a lot of great elements that could have shined, but they just didn't bear any kind of fruit for me. And even though Bruce would say that I would really enjoy it, I was hemming and hawing. I was going to give this movie 3 stars, but I love the score, dug the performances, but 3 stars for me would be, would I want to watch this movie again, at least on the just on a base level? And the answer to that, because this movie veers so many different directions, which can be good in certain movies, at least for this movie, I wanted to be more focused. I wasn't as actually hooked in for the last half hour. I was just drifting in and out. And this was at times slog. And even though film noir, psychosexual thrillers I'm a fan of, Skincare was a disappointment for me. So I'm giving Skincare almost 3 stars, but I'm giving it 2.5, where there are some really good elements, but I can't fully recommend this movie or even mildly recommend this movie. Eric, your final thoughts on Skincare and your rating?
Well, I gotta say, I thought Elizabeth Banks was great in this.
Great, yeah.
And even Nathan Fillion didn't have many scenes, but there's one particular one in a car that worked real great. And
Yes.
I think a lot of that is kind of Elizabeth Banks, kind of the way she reacts and, her character goes about what happened there. And yeah, I just like watching her kind of lose it. The more she pushes, the more it pushes back, and everything kind of starts falling apart for her. I thought this was really good. I'd probably go 4 stars on this. I'm actually kind of surprised he gave it 2.5.
Yeah, it was just one of these things where it's a movie that's tailor-made for me.
Yeah.
And there are
also
sections.
like the psychosexual stuff. Like I didn't get a lot of that because I think a lot of that would it be too much to say that like the stuff that her character her reputation isn't really fair to what she actually does.
I think that's yeah, that's fair. That's
Like
fair to
because
say.
the one guy comes to the skincare store and he's like, I'm just looking for basically
Yeah.
it says a lot more crudely, but this is a family show. I'm just looking for sex. And they're like, what the hell? And then that's when they see the thing online. And
Right.
that's not something she did. That's something someone put up there. So
Yeah.
that would definitely be something that wasn't her doing.
It's more,
Um,
yeah, exactly to your point. A lot of this sexual stuff is
yeah.
projections of these men towards Hope. Hope has nothing to do with it because Hope, she is just focused on forwarding her career. And it's a lot of the men in her life who are projecting their own emotions and feelings towards her,
Yeah.
which is an element to this thriller element of Skincare. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Eric.
but when you said psychosexual, I got something more like a sexploitation movie in my head, and
Yeah,
this
good point.
isn't that at
Good
all.
point.
I don't think
Good
so.
point. Yeah.
But yeah, 4 stars. I like this one.
Wow. Okay, 4 stars for Eric. I'm really excited to see what Bruce thinks of Skincare. Skincare is exclusively in theaters on August 16th. 2.5 stars for me. Eric gave it 4 stars.